welcome back to my channel. In this video we are going to talk about my first signing as a notary. Well, kind of like my first signing as a notary. So I got my first signing July 28th. I was getting ready to leave town July 30th. So when I was sitting, okay, so let me get y'all the story. So I was sitting at work and I saw the text message pop up, and you know, like out here, you know how it is when you're trying to get a signing, you gotta be as quick as lightning times a million to get it, because it be so many other people that got the same notification that you got, so you want to be real quick, right? So I just saw it pop up. I was like, what? Let me hurry up. So I hurried up and hit it, okay, and I got it. But mind you, I didn't even read what it entailed that I had to do. I was just like, I want to get a signing. I want a signing. And I just hit it. The fee was a good amount, because I did, like, I clicked, I was available. And then when I went, I saw the fee. I went straight to the fee, saw the fee. So I was like, okay. And then once I got to reading into what I signed up for, I was like, oh my God. I even asked them to take me off of it because I got it late. On the 28th, but I was already at work, so I couldn't leave work. So I got it at probably like 3, and I was like, yeah, I'm not leaving my house right now because I'm at work. So I got the signing, and then once I read what I had to do, I was like, what? So basically the signing was like, it started off with there's no notarization needed. So I'm like, okay. So as I read further and further into the signing, it was basically I was dropping off lawsuit paperwork to have the individual sign it. So basically like doing door knocks. So I took it as like, this is something like bounty hunters do. Like, I'm like, why are they putting this on there for a notary to do? Why are they putting this on this for a notary to do? So I was like, I had immediately regretted it. I was just like, I really don't want to do this. Doing door knocks, if it's like something to do with like the court and stuff like that, these people may not be like forthcoming, maybe angry, may want to fight. I just had so many things going on in my mind. I was like, I really regret doing this. I even asked for them to take me off. She reached out. I was like, no, I just like came up with something. I was like, you know, it's too late. I'm not gonna be able to do it. Can you assign it to someone else? She was like, well, it's already late. I can't assign it to anyone else right now. Can you try doing it first thing tomorrow? So I was like, okay, you know what? I was like, I want to get my feet out here. You know, I can't complain, even though this is not the type of signing I wanted. But if it'll give me the experience that I need, then so be it, whatever. So I read everything, printed everything out, you know, and just kept reading instructions over and preparing myself for the signing. So reached out to the individuals like, hey, I'm the notary. I'm gonna come and bring you some documents for you to sign, things like that. And you know, what will be a good time, place for you. So I let the signer pick the place. The place was like 40 minutes from my house. Mind you, once the signer picked the place, I was just like, really? I already didn't want to do it, and I gotta drive 40 minutes from my house. But I guess it was just what it was. Okay, so it was early in the morning the next day. So I took off of work, took the full day of work off, because it was early in the morning and my shift at my 9 to 5 started early in the morning too, and I wanted to have enough time to let the signer sign the paperwork, be able to answer brief questions, and be able to mail everything off within that time frame. And I knew it would interfere with me having to be at work. So I just took the day off. So less stress, okay? So the individual wanted to meet at a coffee shop. So I get there early. I was there like 30 minutes, whatever. So I'm sitting in the parking lot. You know, my car was facing like the door, so I can kind of see the individual walking in, I mean, I didn't know what the person looked like, but I was just like, okay, maybe, you know how you just know, like, maybe that person's here for me. Like, if you guys ever did blind date, you know when you go to the restaurant, it's like our eyes connect and you like, oh, okay, I'm here to see you. That's kind of how it was. I was like, okay, let me just face the door, so that way once I see this person walk in, then I could just go straight in there and do the signing, whatever. Okay, so I set my alarm for 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock came. I'm like, okay. All right, so I reached out to the individual like, hey, are we still meeting today? Blah, blah, blah. Individual like, yeah, you know, we're gonna meet. We're still meeting at the same location. Individual like, yeah, I'll see you there. Okay, so I'm waiting. 5-10 minutes pass. I'm like, okay. I was like, reach out again like, hey, are you here? Blah, blah, blah. Because I was just thinking more so like, okay, if you're not gonna come, cool, let me know, then I could go ahead and go back to work and I can keep, you know, my time. I can go back to work. So the individual's like, yeah, I'm coming, blah, 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 blah. 30 minutes went past. Okay, I was like, I'm hungry. Let me go in this coffee shop. So I went to the drive-thru, got me something out the coffee shop. And then the way the coffee shop was, as soon as you turn in, it's the coffee shop. So the drive-thru was like around there, and I just parked on this side. So I still could see the door, still see if someone was coming in or not, to do, you know what I'm trying to say. So I waited, I'm eating my little breakfast sandwich, sipping on my little tea. 10 minutes of roll past. Now it's getting close to 30 minutes after we were supposed to meet, and I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, you still coming? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm here, I'm waiting, you know, just like giving a brief description. It'll be a quick sign exchange. I can give it to you if you want to look over it, and we can meet back up and get it back, blah, blah, blah. So, no response. It just went completely dry. Like, no response. So I'm like, hey, I'm still here. 5 minutes roll past. I'm like, hey, I'm still here. Did you not want to meet? Blah, blah, blah. Nothing went past. And then I waited again. So I reached out, hey, I reached out again like, hey, are we gonna meet? You know, by this time I'm getting irritated because I'm like this. If you're not gonna show for something, just say that and we can move on. There's no point of just having someone just still believe you're coming, whatever. So it got to like 8:40. I was like, okay, I'm out. Like, I'm out. So I left, kid you not, 5 minutes from me getting to the me pulling out. The individual was like, I'm here, I've been here the whole time, blah blah blah. And I'm sitting in the car at the light like, so the whole time, why didn't you say that in a message? So I don't know. I was just like, that doesn't feel, that don't sound right. So the individual like, you know, I'm like, well, I just left. We can meet another time. Because mind you, it was the day before I had to get ready for vacation. I'm a late packer. I didn't even pack anything. I known 2 months in advance I was leaving for my birthday vacation. And so I had other things that I had to do because I'm like, I already took the day off, so I might as well just go and just do what I needed to do. I'm always a late packer. I always got to stop at Target to go get something that I probably don't need, but I just gotta go. And so I was like, well, we can meet later today. So the individual was like, okay, great. I have another meeting. Well, before I text, I was like, we can meet later today. I was just like, hey, I already left. You know, I waited X amount of time for you. You know, you didn't come. And then the individual was like, you know, I was here the whole time. I was like, well, you didn't state that. Blah, blah, blah. It was just too much back and forth. So I just like put the line through it because I'm like, I'm not going to go back for it. So I was like, okay, you know, I'll be free later today. What'll be a good time for you? I always kept putting it on the sign, or like, you know, what will be a good time for you? We were supposed to meet later in the afternoon after the individual got done with their other meeting. So I was like, okay, this time I picked the location. I'm like, okay, no, we're gonna pick it close to my house because 40 minutes I'm not doing. Especially if you didn't show the first time. I already had in my mind you might not show again. So I'm like, okay, so I picked it close to my house. I was like, hey, I'm here at the same place we were supposed to meet at. We supposed to meet at like a mail distributing place, where you can take your mail. I can't even think of the name of it, but it's a really big name, but I can't think of it. So I pulled like right, it was like the building right here, I pulled right in front of the door, so to do the same thing, like, so I can know the individual that's coming in as the sign. So I even got out my car and went into the facility just to look around, see if I can make eye contact with someone, if the person was in there. Nothing. So I got back in my car and I waited and waited and waited. This sketchy guy tried to walk up to my car. Like, I was like, let me waited another 30 to 40 minutes and still the same thing. I sent the message like, hey, I'm here, I'm waiting on you, you know, I'm blah 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 blah. So no response. So 15 minutes roll past, and then an individual text like, well, 15 minutes late, and then an individual text like, oh, I'm still at my meeting, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, so there's a lack of communication. Why couldn't you state that you were at your meeting and we could have gotten this established, or we could have met at a later time, or I could have came at a later time instead of leaving at the time that we already decided on. So I was like, okay, well, you know, and I just basically said, well, you know, I will let them know to assign it to someone else because I've already tried to meet with you a couple of times and it hasn't been luck. Like, you don't want to be the message like, you know, you keep playing games and I ain't got time to do that. You don't want to do that. So I just kept professional and cute. I was just like, oh, you know, I will let them know because I tried to meet with you several times and no luck. And so, but I didn't know that my meeting was going to be this long and blah, blah, blah. Granted, I get it. You don't know things, like things that's going to go over, but communicating that like, hey, my meeting ran over, I'm not going to be able to make it on time, can we reset, blah, blah, blah. None of that. And I was already hot. I was hungry. I still had to finish doing my other errands. So I was just like, okay, let me just go finish my errands. And so I was just like, okay, well, I waited for you. You know, you didn't show. This is the second time. I'm just going to let the company know. And that's it. So I'm out running my errands. An hour later, I get a voicemail. And from the individual was like, well, I'll be there on that side of town in a half an hour to an hour, and I'll be available to meet at the location that we disclosed. Like, I'm just sitting around waiting for you to be ready or something. So I'm just like, well, I've already let the company know that my trips to you was unsuccessful. So I will let them know to send another individual out because I have other tasks that I need to complete. So I let the company know, whatever. 2-3 weeks later, like a week or so later, yeah, because I went on vacation. A week after my vacation, they were hitting me up like, oh, we had to speak to so-and-so to let them know that this was a serious matter and the individual needs to be present. And I'm just looking like, okay, well, what was the point of this phone call? Because I'm not going back out there. So they're like, well, you know, can you go back out there? I can assign it to you right now. The individual said that they can meet right now in the next couple of hours, or they can do it Saturday. And I'm like, and I'm saying to myself, like, how more clear can I be? I'm not going back out there. I've already tried. So no. So she seemed like she was upset, and I was just like, I tried. I did everything you needed me to do from the instruction. I tried. It didn't work out. What do you want me to do? I'm not going back out there. I'm not going back out there. So long story short, they end up assigning it to someone else. I hope that person had luck. But so I'm just sitting around waiting to see if I even get paid for the visit or whatever. But so yeah. I just know now, like, when I get those alerts from that individual company, I know to actually read them, because I don't really care to do the door knocks and things like that, because I just feel like maybe that person on the other end may not be as receiving. So I don't want it to be like conflict or anything like that. So I kind of stay away from those because I know I've gotten a couple of alerts, and once I read, you know, what they entailed, it was the same ones as the first one I did. So I was just like, yeah, no, I'm good. So I'll just wait till I get like a real signing. So guys, that was my almost could have been first signing as a notary loan signing agent. And I will see you guys in another video. Bye.